Welcome to Built-In Boots, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes at the DDS companies, where we're laying the foundation for tomorrow's infrastructure. In each episode, we bring you the real stories from the people who make it all happen, honoring everyone from the field to the front office. Join us as we explore their journeys, uncover the lessons they've learned, and show you how to build a rewarding career in the civil construction industry. If you're ready to learn from those who've built their success from the ground up, you're in the right place. Let's get started.
Welcome back to another episode of the Built-In Boots Road Show series. I'm Jordan Potter, joined by my co-host, the one and only Mark Payne. Mark, how are we doing today?
Doing great, Jordan. And I gotta say, this episode is going to be a special one. We're out in the field, diving deep into what it really takes to build a career in gas construction, through grit, leadership, and a whole lot of hard work.
That's right. This series is all about getting boots on the ground and bringing you real stories straight from the job site. Today, we're sitting down with two incredible guests. One, a seasoned veteran with 37 years in the gas business, and the other, a rising force who's breaking barriers as a woman in construction. This one is packed with wisdom, experience, and a whole lot of real talk.
Absolutely. We'll be hearing today from Andy Gana, a gas foreman with nearly 4 decades of experience, who's seen this industry evolve from the trenches, and Charlotte Reeves, whose unconventional path from pharmaceuticals to gas construction proves that if you have the drive, there's always room to grow in the business.
So whether you're a veteran in the industry, just starting out, or someone looking for inspiration on what's possible in utility construction, this episode is for you. It's all about legacy, leadership, and what it means to be built to last.
So strap in, because this is going to be a good one. Let's get into it.
Where are we, Mark? We are just off of the Cornell campus in Ithaca, New York.
Also known as Cayuga Heights. It's a lovely town. We drove up from Binghamton here just a few hours ago. We joined Mr. Andy Gana and Charlotte Reeves. How are you guys doing?
Great.
Good.
Doing great.
Yep.
Andy, what do you got going on today?
We're preparing a 12-inch tie-in hole, air testing.
So for the listeners who are joining us, we are on a gas distribution project here in Ithaca, New York. So Andy, for the listeners, could you just give them a little bit of a background on your history here at DDS and some of your background in construction?
I've been at DDS 16 years. I've been doing gas for 37.
Wow.
Yeah.
Longer than I've been alive.
That's a career.
You've been in construction for 37 years?
Doing gas work, yes.
Or doing gas work.
Yeah.
Wow. Pretty incredible.
Yep. I enjoy it.
Do you? Come to love it?
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte,
Yes.
how did you get started in construction?
Scheduling. It kind of fits my schedule, my needs of home and work life.
Are you talking about more like the seasonal type aspect of it, of the construction?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a background in construction?
No, not necessarily. I started out as a teenager working on a farm, and I know what hard work is like, so I decided to give this a shot.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of
farm.
A lot of farm background I've noticed. We had on another episode, we had another gas foreman who came growing up on the farm. A lot of farm backgrounds here, which is great. I think that's a great segue into the construction field. Andy, what is, I guess for the listeners, what is your job title here officially at DDS? And
I'm a foreman on the gas side.
Gas foreman?
Yep, gas foreman.
Nice. And you've been a foreman for?
Long time. 27 years.
Very nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Seen a lot of change through that time, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah. With the OQs, the paperwork, I'm sure, all that
Safety.
fun stuff. Safety. Yeah.
Yeah, just so many changes. Changes every year, though.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I want to dig into a little bit of that, of the history of the gas construction. I've only been involved for maybe 6 to 7 years or something like that. For the listeners who may not know the history of the gas business or the gas industry, what was it like? And then what is it like now? Can you try to paint that picture a little bit?
The beginning was rough because you didn't miss any time. You missed one day and the next day you missed or late. You didn't have a job.
Oh, yeah.
It's went from, we used to do visual on the fusions. Then we went to time for a while. Now we're back to visual.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So from an OQ and compliance side, a lot of changes there.
A lot of changes. A lot of changes with the way we dig.
Yep.
There's more. It wouldn't used to be a big thing if we went along and clipped the gas service or something. We just plug it and continue on.
Yeah.
Now we make lots of effort to find them.
Oh, yeah. We cannot hit that utility that we are installing. So
right.
It's like it's the big sin.
It is, for sure.
Charlotte, do you have any, I guess I'm trying to dig into how you may have come about into construction. I think it's very, very interesting, your career path, how you kind of came about. Let's go back in time.
Okay. How far back you want to go?
As far back as you want to go.
All right. Well, I did farming and then I left farming and went into the laboratory aspect of farming. And I used that laboratory experience to get me a job in a pharmaceutical laboratory.
Wow.
And that was while the kids were growing up. It was the family oriented. And then now the kids are all grown and left. And so I decided to do something different. I worked at a gravel pit and had some experience with some contractors. And so that's how I made my connections. I don't know. I did pretty good business with the contractors. And so when it came time for hire, I said, hey, do you remember me from the gravel pit?
Yep.
Hey, Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Hey, can I come in for an interview?
I remember that.
I know you do.
And she's an excellent PR person.
Oh, God, yes.
Honestly.
I would say, Charlotte, that's probably one of your superpowers.
It
is your
is.
Ability to communicate, keep the peace among your crew.
Yes. And the outsiders as well.
The public, yes.
Yes, very much the public. And it's kind of tying everybody together, like as far as the flaggers, we're doing this today. Hey, by the way, we plan on moving this. Could you please set up so that we could transport that? And
yeah.
Hey, truck driver, drop that load over there.
You kind of made the switch from the pharmaceutical laboratories type of setting.
Mm-hmm.
I can only imagine how exciting that must have been.
Yeah. It was a corporate office setting to now construction setting. It's like night and day.
Yeah, inside to outside work, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not envious anymore looking outside. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to go in the AC for a minute.
Yeah,
right. So you made the switch to a gravel pit, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the position that you held at that gravel pit was a dispatcher?
Yeah. Bidding and dispatching, bidding the jobs and billing. I mean, it was kind of a small mom and pop shop, so I kind of had a lot of hats in the role.
Mm-hmm. What did you learn from that experience?
How to interact with customers and organize your truck drivers.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the pharmaceutical...
Asking Andy, I think I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah. On the pharmaceutical side, you really didn't have a ton of interaction with the customers or anything else?
Not at all.
So it kind of went from one extreme to the other?
Very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It was a learning curve in the beginning, but then I was really good at it at the end.
Yeah, she sets their mind at ease more, some of the people, because it's almost like, I'm not abrasive or anything, but just it's almost like she comes across a lot more gentle.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, I'll be like, we're coming through here, and she tells them, it'll be all right,
It'll be okay. It'll just be a couple days. I mean, we're only going to interfere with your lifestyle for a couple days. It'll be in and out. It's an inconvenience, but once we're gone, restoration's coming through, and they're going to make your land look just like how it did before we were here.
I would say in the business that we're in, and Andy, you can speak to this probably more than myself, but it's not just about putting gas pipe in the ground anymore, it seems like.
No.
It seems like we're more in the business of logistics and coordination and public PR, managing the relationships with the municipalities that we're working in. There's a lot of management and coordination on that regard. Do you have any comments or thoughts on what that...
This particular job here, she's on the phone every morning with Cougar Heights, letting them know where we're going to be. Addresses. let them know we're going to have access for the emergency vehicles, and also give them a call at the end of the day to tell them the road's all open and
Daily.
Daily.
She does that even like when I'm doing my JSA and all that stuff in the morning. She makes that call and gets all that going.
That's amazing. What would you do without her?
I'd miss her.
Yeah, for sure.
She's a little easier to work with than
Some others in the
Others.
Yeah.
Well, that's great to hear. I love to hear it, actually. It's so interesting. We have these conversations, Mark, with so many different people across the company, and a lot of them, the path into this world, into this business is never the same.
No, that is one thing that has been common all the way across. Everybody took a different path to get here.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, it seems like they don't even realize that utility construction was a thing. Like it wasn't on their radar until they were in it, until they were here.
Yeah, it's been very interesting. I mean, you came from pharmaceuticals, Charlotte, and that is just, I didn't even know that. I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I thought you were a dispatcher or billing coordinator for forever.
I know.
You were
Surprise.
good. You were good.
I know I was.
I enjoyed working with you when you were in that position. That was a long time ago when I was coordinating trucks. I don't do that anymore. Now the supervisors, I'll do that stuff.
That's okay.
That's funny.
So let's kind of skip ahead a little bit and talk about your career path. I think when you came in, Charlotte, when you came into the gas business, did you actually know what you were getting yourself into here? Or were you just kind of like, I just like the company and I want to try to give it a shot?
Absolutely not. I had no clue.
Tell me more.
Okay, so I started out in restoration, and I knew that it was going to be after the gas crews came in. Now we're going to restore the land like it looked like before.
Yep.
Concrete sidewalks, blacktop driveways, the road, planting grass seed. I got bored.
Yeah.
I mean, some people that's their thing, that's their knack, but I didn't really like it.
Yeah.
So after 3 months, I begged,
Yeah.
please let me go gas side.
Mm-hmm.
Please. I'm not very mechanical, but you can teach me.
Mm-hmm.
So, just please give me a shot. And sure enough, now I'm the fuser on the crew. I fuse the pipe.
Oh, you spoiled it. That's what I wanted to get to. You
I'm
are
sorry.
now. No, you're leading up to exactly where I wanted to take this conversation because it's quite inspiring to be
Right.
to be honest.
But when I
It
went
is
on
awesome.
Andy's crew, I was just the laborer. You taught me how to backfill the ditch. I had no idea what to do. And now I'm teaching the other guys on the crew how to backfill the ditch,
we used to call her the operating room nurse.
What?
We used to call her the operating room nurse.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
She'd be have everything laid out to do a service or whatever.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Pick it all up as we were done with it, and the guys didn't have to go searching. Everything was laid out.
Oh, that's
Y-
awesome.
Yeah.
There
I
you
mean,
go.
that's the thing is I was a good top guy. Like
Yep.
I have the tools right at the edge of the ditch
Yeah.
and it's right here. Oh, you want that? It's right next to your left hand.
That's
Mhm.
awesome.
Pick up your right hand. It's right over here.
Yeah.
So you were like 3 steps, 4 steps, 5 steps ahead of the guys. And so by the time they knew they needed to reach for the wrench, you already had the wrench in their hand.
Pretty much.
So she was. Some people just take to this better, and she was one of them that just kind of grasped it
Yeah.
a lot. I mean, pretty quick.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I might not know what all the tools are.
Doesn't matter.
If you describe what it looks like, I can go to the truck and find it.
Mm-hmm. The ability to see 3, 4, 5 steps ahead, that's key. And a lot of folks miss that. The work is somewhat repetitive, right? I mean, you're
Very.
doing a lot of the same processes over and over
Yep.
and over again. But just having that person that's there on the crew that can see, okay, 3 steps from now, he's going to need this. I'm going to the truck. Let me grab that, bring it out, and have it there ready to go. And then it goes back in the truck, the same place every time.
Oh, yes, very
This-
much.
As long as the same person is holding on to the tools and taking care of it, same place every time. Everything is consistent. We know exactly where it is. It just leads to a whole nother level of efficiency.
Yes.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge.
hmm
And some folks never develop that skill. Like they just don't see it.
So true.
Right.
And being able to see the work, like I said, that's so important.
Yeah.
hmm
Andy, what would you say? What kind of impact has that had on your crew and your operations on a daily basis?
Well, it's just like having a good right hand man. They got your back. Get busy up ahead, laying the job out. I know things will progress. I don't have to stand there holding everybody's hand. She holds them for a while.
I do. Hey, guys, we need to do this.
And this job, like going back, but this one was tough because we were trying not to use electrofuses because we didn't have any electrofuse couplings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to go out ahead and measure everything out. And what we call it is add and subtract.
Mm-hmm.
Subtract a half a joint, add a half a joint on another so we could get in that sweet spot between services to get it up and actually do a fusion instead of doing the electrofusion.
I've never heard of that.
Oh, really?
Explain that to me because I don't know. So you're saying add a half a joint or subtract a half a joint. So this is in preparation.
So if you're coming up, I don't know, say you need about 50 foot for that 12-inch.
To come up out of the ditch
Yeah,
and get into the
50
fusion.
foot before you're not yanking the back fill up or anything. So if you figure it on both ends, you need 100 foot.
Okay.
So in that 100 foot, you can't have any utilities.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to hit that spot. If it's not exactly 120 foot, say it's 100 feet is your magic number. You got to chop 20 feet off a joint.
Mm-hmm.
So you get the pipes up and out, and that's your sweet spot. If you go the full 120, you can't get the pipe up. It's like this.
Right.
Wow. What a master of 12-inch pipe fusing right there.
Yeah. That ability to see that, though, and to think ahead, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
That is pretty cool. Just learned something new.
There you go.
So to keep on digging in on Charlotte's career path, I love it because you came into this business not knowing what we even did necessarily.
No.
And I'm speaking more to the gas distribution side out of the CNY group. I mean, that's where we met, right? That's where
it all started.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you come in, you work for the company as a restoration laborer, you come on board, you're crushing it, by the way. It's not like you didn't do your job well.
No,
you just said, listen, I'm getting bored of this. I'm looking for a little bit more mental
stimulation.
a little bit more
I got
challenge.
a brain. I got to use it.
Yeah. So I think we threw you into a level 1.
Yep.
Was it that same season?
Yep.
It was.
It was towards the end of the season.
Towards the tail end of that season.
Mm-hmm.
So we got you the level 1 training, and I think you were off to the races from there.
I kind of was because that's when I joined Andy's crew, and there happened to be a spot on your crew. I don't know why or how, but I
Can't remember. But
I joined the crew, and then next year, like when I came back after layoff, I did level 2 and 3. And then, it was still labor and whatnot, but I had more qualifications, and then went away again for layoff and came back, and I learned how to fuse pipe.
Yeah, because she was the only one after the one crew member left. She was, her and I were the only ones that had could fuse.
Fuse, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like, she goes, I'll give it a try.
Yep.
I was like, okay.
As long as you teach me how to do it.
Do you remember, I guess, going through the trainings? Can you speak to the trainings a little bit, being that you've gone through all of the progression level trainings here at DDS? And we'll let Mark kind of speak to what that progression level training looks like. What was it like going through those trainings and getting all those OQs?
Not having mechanical backgrounds, I struggled a little bit because I don't know the correct terminology to use, but very much. So Dave would kind of make it so
love the term gaskets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Gaskets and O-rings. I'd flip-flop him. Yeah, he did not appreciate that.
I bet he didn't. Just knowing how Dave is. Yeah, no.
Yeah. But he just kept working with me. The more you get exposed to it, the more, and just he was able to teach it. And I also, because I don't have mechanical experience, so I'm like, hey, dumb it down. Like, explain it simply so that I understand it. If you break it down and explain it simply, I can get it. I can grasp that idea.
Yeah.
But if you throw terminology out there that I have no idea what you're talking about, I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know.
So, Mark, for the people that are listening in and we use the term progression level training, can you give the audience, paint the picture? What is progression level training?
Progression level training, if I was going to talk somebody through it, think of it as a step-by-step process where we add more and more technically advanced OQs, operator qualifications, onto that person's resume. And basically, right now we have 4 levels, and you could almost say 5 to 6 levels, depending on what career path that person takes.
Right.
So with that progression level training, again, it goes from some very simple processes to some very complex processes. So did I hit that right?
Yes, you did.
All right. With that progression level training, start out with very simple things like stab fittings and those sorts of things. And then we move into eventually fusion, which is
It's like the crown jewel.
that is the crown jewel.
Yep.
Level 4. That's the creme de la creme right
Yep.
there.
Yeah, that old Dave Langtree stamp of approval.
You get
trying
the
to get that
stamp of approval, and
trying to get that hard hat sticker that you're fusion qualified. Boy,
yeah.
Yeah.
In looking across the business, there's about 300 people in the business that have OQs in DDS. And out of those 300, I would struggle to think that there's maybe 50 people that have that sticker.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a big deal. And it represents a huge time commitment. Not only is it the classroom, not only is it going and taking the written exams, it's also proving that out to our third-party evaluators. So there's quite a bit of compliance that goes in with that.
Yeah, for sure. I guess part of the reason why that pipe fusion is so important to us as a company and in the business that we're in is you guys have to nail it every time.
Every time.
It's my responsibility.
Yes.
And it's my inspector's responsibility. If it's wrong,
Cut it out.
We're in
start
trouble.
over, right?
Yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah.
You cut it out, you redo it. Yeah, if it's wrong.
Yeah.
It's
And
bad.
the thing is, on the backside of it, is we're doing that and we're documenting our processes and doing our QA and QC. We're looking at that fusion later on too. That's that goes in the ground. But again, we're also looking at it at a later time, just double checking everything, triple checking everything,
Right.
before it goes out there into the wild.
How many things can go wrong during a fusion process?
Oh, there's
I
only
mean,
a million.
there's only like
Yeah, right.
one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Andy made me nervous the other day. He was talking about one guy that he knew had a blade of grass.
Mm-hmm. That's a true story.
And it took him how long to find it?
They had to energize the main to find it.
Yeah.
The leak was so
wow.
minor.
All right, you got to tell that story. I mean, keep it short and sweet.
It was
like,
in
come on.
Carlin, and he was putting in 4-inch main, and so you had the 14 machine.
Yeah.
You know, you're a little lower to the ground, so he fused all the pipe up. And I remember his air test; it wouldn't drop that much. It was just minuscule, but it wouldn't hold. Checked everything: the purge points, the test tree, the electrofusions, nothing. It went down to it. They said, "Well, we'll gas it up, and then we'll have to sniff it." And sure enough, they found gas. It was a butt fusion that actually, when he fused it, he didn't see one blade of grass went in there on the bottom side.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And the leak
Yeah,
was so
wow.
minor. I mean, it was,
Right.
it wasn't like, it was just
It was like barely
consistent.
Barely. Wow. So we're not even talking about quality. You're talking about perfection with fusing pipe. Like you have to absolutely 100% nail it perfectly every single time. Talk about trying to maintain standard and maintain quality and maintain all those things. It's no wonder why we put so much emphasis on it as a company, because it's that critical of a process. So that's a really good learning lesson. So how do you prevent that from happening? Check the face of your pipe before you put it together?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how he missed it. He was a good gas guy too. It's just one of those things. It was like a 1 in a million thing.
Wow.
He missed it somehow.
Yeah.
Either the grass sprung up while he was in the process of putting it together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with all the stresses that are going on the job, there's a million things going on. You got traffic going, you've got weather, you've got everything else. A lot of the training revolves around the process, right? Do the process, do it the same way every single time. You get the result that you're looking for. And that right there is so key. It's so important, because something as simple as a blade of grass is all it takes. On the other side of that, if we look at the other side of that story, the air test worked. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. You know, yeah, you had to go and sniff it and find it, but it did actually show up.
Yep.
So that was the important part.
Yeah. You at least had a clue that something may have been wrong somewhere else.
Yes.
So when it came time, I'm sure, to start investigating it.
Yeah. I mean, I remember it was driving me crazy because they couldn't figure out what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Why it wouldn't hold the air test. And it was that.
That's a pretty cool story to learn from.
Yeah, for sure.
We talk about the technical side of the business. Charlotte, from your perspective, coming into this business from being in the pharmaceutical side, how challenging is it to kind of get in, knowing nothing, to now doing what you're doing today? You're Andy's right-hand man. I mean, you're his primary fuser.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're coordinating and you're doing all the technical tasks that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is it impossible for somebody to follow the same path that you have?
No, not at all.
So what advice would you give somebody to kind of go down the same road that you went down?
Okay, I was given this one little statement when I worked at the pharmaceutical place, and it's, there is no dumb question, except for the one that you don't ask. If you don't know the answer, ask. I do it all the time to Andy.
And I always told you I don't mind questions.
No, not at all. If you don't know, ask so you don't screw it up. Because if we screw it up, now we've got to redo it.
To me, if you're asking questions, it means you're thinking about what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
If you just sit there and you're not thinking.
Yeah.
You're not thinking.
You're just going through the motions at that point.
Exactly,
Yep.
Mark.
Yeah, you're not engaged at that point.
No.
And that's how you know that you're engaged is if you're asking questions, you're inquisitive, and you're just trying to learn.
Right.
So we actually talked about that learner's mentality on another episode here, and I think that's critical. I can't remember the phrase that they used for it, but basically along the lines of like, you know, you got to stay hungry and work hard, but at the end of the day, you've got to keep an open mind to learning new things.
I think hungry and humble is what they were talking about earlier on. Not be afraid to ask questions. Don't pretend like you know everything. Be humble. Be willing to ask those questions.
Yeah,
That's
I would say
huge.
that's being humble. To your point, there is being willing to ask the question, not afraid to quote unquote look stupid and ask the question. To me, it takes a humbled person to be able to do that.
Well, they want to learn too. Why are we doing it this way this time? We did it this way last time.
Right.
And like when I first started doing this, I was fortunate to have a foreman that didn't mind me asking questions. But I worked for many others that would call you, you know, you're dumb and that's a dumb question. And because I said so, things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Andy, you know, you've been in this business for a long time and you've run a crew longer than I've been alive, basically. We'll just call it that. How long you've been in this business. How important is it to have that type of patience as a foreman with your crew?
It's important. The more you do it, the more patience you get. In the beginning, I was like, well, just, you know, you're always pushing, go, go, go. And you just got to know the limit. You see it in the people's eyes. They've had enough for the day or the week.
I think that it's really important to have a foreman that is willing to, you know, Charlotte, you're asking these questions. Who better to answer these questions than Andy? Andy's got so much experience. I mean, that's a big part of it too. There's not anybody better.
I know that being on the other side of it, I don't know if you guys know this about me. I came up through the business as a laborer, right? I worked in the trenches, working for different types of foremen, a foreman that have that level of patience. Because I was the guy that was always asking questions. I was probably like, you know, I'm trying to like reverse engineer the job, right? I'm trying to like, all right, I want to get inside your head so I can learn how to do it. So that way I don't have to ask questions anymore. Just like you, I didn't want to be one step ahead. I wanted to be like 5 steps ahead, you know, drive that wanna attitude. Right. And I remember I had this superintendent that I worked for. This was on a civil construction job site. It drove him crazy. He was like, why are you always questioning me? I'm like, sir, I am not questioning you. I will, whatever you need, I will do. I am simply just trying to learn. I want to learn this business, and I'm asking you these questions not out of second guessing you. I'm just asking because I'm seeking the knowledge. He was an older fella, and I think he might have just had maybe a little lack of patience.
Right.
But going back to you, Andy, and your strength is, I've seen more people come up through your crews and have gained a very successful career in the gas business. I can't even probably count on 2 hands how many people have come up through this business, learned from you specifically in this business because of your level of patience and your ability to teach. And somehow at the end of even one season, you're going to end up with a full gas guy or gal coming out of this. It's awesome to see that happen and unfold. So I commend you for it.
Thank you.
It
means a lot to me, actually.
Your level of patience, I don't know if it's patience or what it is, but you do a damn good job, my man.
Yeah, super approachable. That's the nice part. I show up on the job. You don't see me very often at all. I show up on the job. You're always approachable. You're always willing to clue us in, tell us what's going on. That's huge. That's big for us.
So we are going to start to kind of close the loop. Andy, do you have any final closing thoughts? Anything off the top of your head that you kind of want to hit on?
Even though, you know, I've been doing this forever, like I tell her, we still to this day run into things I've never seen. And
Yeah.
I guess you just gotta, what I tell her is we'll figure it out, you know.
You always do.
Yeah, but
Oh,
some of
yeah.
it's tough. Remember some of those teas we found?
Oh, they were complicated.
Yeah, up on Slaterville Road.
Oh, yeah.
Retire the tees. Well, there's a 124 line. So you'd have to take the cap out slow, and if it was like a pressure cooker, you stopped.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
I would be...
Oh, I was...
We were on pins and needles.
the whole
and-
time.
Yeah.
Nerved up for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have seen on a 40-pound line. This was a near miss. This happened way back in the day, but it was what do they call it, Andy? It's like a tapered cap. So it's almost like used on like water corporations. Anyway, it was a cap that it was unscrewing it, and as he was unthreading it, it just blew off and went past the dude's head. It was crazy.
What do you have, plastic one?
No, it was a steel.
Oh.
It was a steel service. It was up in actually Homer.
Oh, one of those teardrop ones, right?
The teardrop ones, yeah.
Yeah.
So he was wearing gloves the whole nine. I mean, it was a close call. But
Yeah.
again, I mean, the pins and needles. Ever since I've witnessed that happen, it was one of those things where I'm like, okay, you can get hurt out here. You got to be freaking careful.
Yep.
For sure.
Pay attention.
I would not. Those 124-pound line.
Yeah.
That's scary.
It is. Charlotte, what about you? Do you have any closing thoughts? Anything that you want to hit on?
No, not really.
No?
No. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you for giving me a shot.
You're welcome. You stepped into your own potential on that one. So,
And Andy.
yeah. How about advice?
You didn't think we'd get along. I know. Why is that? I want to ask you a question.
I like this.
And look where we are now.
You know what, Andy? It was because I didn't truly know you.
Okay.
That's part of it. I was still young in my leadership ability to be able to recognize you and totally understand you. My fear, quite honestly, was I didn't know if you were like super old school and women don't belong in the business type of attitude. And I was nervous about that because I was totally open to women in construction. In fact, I wish more women would apply because I think it's great. Charlotte, if I could replicate you times 10, please.
There was a lady that worked at NYSEG in Binghamton. She might have weighed 90, 95 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Ripped the jackhammer, a 90-pound jackhammer out of my laborer's hand. It was about 220
Oh.
and put him to shame.
Wow.
Yeah.
Put him to shame.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And from that, I said,
Yeah.
wow.
Well, when I was on restoration, you seen me doing blacktop,
Yeah,
and you guys were all like, "Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, look at this woman."
Yep.
Come to the dark side.
That's right.
You know what, Andy? I remember that conversation. I'm glad you asked me that question because it was a moment of good reflection there. But honestly, I was nervous to bring it up to you. I remember I was like, I had to make the phone call. I was like, Andy, I need to talk to you about something. I kind of made a big deal about it. I was looking to pair Charlotte up with somebody that I knew she could learn from, and you were that guy. Quite honestly, I wanted you to say yes.
Yeah.
So I was like, I hope he says yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, look where we are today.
I know.
I
I'm
mean,
your
just
right hand
look-
man.
Yeah, you are.
Look at that.
And I love that.
Mhm.
Do you have any advice for women who would ever consider a career in construction?
If you're willing to give it a shot, don't hold back. You never know unless you try.
Yeah.
If it works, it works. You were meant to be. And if it doesn't, at least you tried it.
Yeah.
There's so much more using machines too anymore than there used to be. There used to be 10, 20 times the bulwark that there is now.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That is my weakness. I am not as strong as the guys on the crew.
One of them, I told you this story before, one of my old foremans, so I wasn't in a way fusion. I'd set up fusion down there about a half mile. And we'll just carry a double joint 8-inch. And I'm like, that's one of the things I said, I am never going to ever do that in my career.
No. Listen, we have hydraulic power for a reason.
Yes. That's
right.
We like to work smarter, not harder. Don't get me wrong. We like to work hard, but we also don't like to work.
Work smarter for sure.
We like to work smarter. What about you, Mark? Any closing thoughts?
No, I think it was kind of cool to hear how you two work together and how you've learned so much over a relatively short time, right? All the different roles that you fill on the crew, that is truly impressive. Strong number two, not only the fusion and the technical side, but also the PR side and working through all those other facets, trying to keep the crew moving, keeping the tools out there in front of them. I mean, that's all key to getting the job done, being safe. I mean, it all just ties right together. So super impressed with that.
Not losing tools is big.
Not losing
Very
tools is big.
And she is. She's a pit bull about the tools. So.
I am.
You have to have somebody like that.
Yep.
You have to. Yeah. So that's totally welcome.
I would totally agree with everything you just said there, and I am proud to have you on the team. So
Thanks.
love it. All right, we're gonna finish this off with a little rapid fire round here. This is a little this or that. Okay, you only get to choose one answer. All right,
Or you can submit one.
or you can submit
need
one.
to.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. The little audible play there. Andy,
Yes.
Ford or Chevy?
Neither.
Oh,
Okay.
what do you got?
Dodge.
Dodge.
There we go.
But it's got to be a Dodge,
Oh.
not just a Ram.
So
Oh,
you like
want
the
the
old-
old
Yep.
school Dodge.
Yep.
Okay.
There it is.
All right.
Charlotte, Ford or Chevy?
Mercedes. My little
Ooh.
red car.
Yeah, I like your car.
Okay.
German
It's nice.
engineering.
Yes.
Precision.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Andy, Cat or John Deere?
Cat.
Cat?
Cat.
Just so you're used to them.
Yeah.
I like John Deere's, but cats. Yeah, I like cats.
Charlotte. Cat skid steer or have you driven any other skid steer besides Cat?
New Holland. Back in the day.
New Holland.
All right.
Yeah,
So
from
Cat
back
or
in
New
the day.
Holland?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which one?
I like the cats.
Cat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, I'll let you do the next one.
Okay. So the next one, brisket or pulled pork?
Brisket.
Brisket. Charlotte.
Pulled pork.
Pulled pork.
I'm with Charlotte on that one.
But I don't want that barbecue sauce in there.
The
Okay.
second one to say that.
Second person to say that. No Sweet Baby Ray's. Get that out of there.
Nope.
Real pulled pork.
Yep.
I agree with that.
There you go.
100%.
Perfect. All right. Next one, chicken wings. Mild or hot? Andy.
Hot.
Hot. Charlotte.
Really hot.
Really
Whoa.
hot. There we go.
I like spicy.
Out of left field. She says really hot.
Really hot.
Dang.
Yeah, I think that's the first one of those that we've gotten.
That is.
Really hot.
hmm
You're badass officially.
Sorry.
Like,
Yeah.
Damn.
Surprise.
All right.
All right.
Last one. And this is the cliffhanger that we won't ever speak of this, of what this actually is, but we're just going to ask everybody if they've had it. Have either of you ever consumed a Rochester garbage plate?
Yes.
You have.
Oh, many times.
Okay.
Charlotte?
No, never.
No?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
But you can't say what it is, Andy. So
I
just
won't.
it's a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Whoever's listening, they have to figure it out.
Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite restaurant?
No, most of them. We used to get one by RIT. I can't remember the name. It's been so many years since I worked up there.
Okay.
But they were always the best at the Christmas party after.
Oh yeah.
After
Yeah.
hours.
That's when they are the best.
Yes.
Is late at night or early in the next morning.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, it doesn't sound like an appetizing dish, being that it's a garbage plate, but I am certainly intrigued to try.
You should.
You've never had one?
Yeah.
I've
Jordan
never had
has
one.
never had one.
Wow.
Mm.
I haven't.
You got to get one.
I think that I am going to put this on the menu. I'm going to put it on Macy's radar for the menu for Leadership
I'm
Summit.
quite excited. I would like an array of garbage plates. Okay. I would like.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
I would like to try every variation of garbage plate that there is. Yeah,
Oh.
that's what we gotta do.
Everybody, need them all.
yeah.
We want you around for a while.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's a heart attack. Wait,
Oh,
what
it
happened?
is.
Okay. All right. Got it. Well, I just got to say thank you both again. You guys do an incredible job for DDS. Andy, keep it up.
Yeah.
Charlotte, keep it up. I can't thank you both enough for the hard work that you guys put in. It's a pleasure working with you both. I honestly love it.
Well, you too. Who do I call when I get frustrated sometimes?
You call me.
Let's
6 a.m.
Blow off some steam.
6 a.m. By the time we're done with the conversation, you're good to go.
I'm
You'll
laughing. Yep.
You'll figure it out. You always figure it out. I never, ever worry about you figuring it out. Just to kind of wrap this up, for those who are listening, if you want to learn more about the DDS companies, you can check us out online at ddscompanies.com. Check us out. Check out the website. We offer many different types of services. There's a ton of different divisions of the company. And visit the careers page if you're interested in applying. Otherwise, thank you guys both. Mark, thank you very much for going on this journey with me, man. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me.